So millions of Americans just, as of late, really can't afford groceries, right? And if you can't afford groceries right now, you're not alone, because all these various different things being cut and resources are being shut off. It's really concerning. I got a few clips. Check them out and I'll come back with my commentary.
I wasn't crying in Costco because I wanted luxuries. I was crying because I couldn't afford what was on my grocery list. We had always been paycheck to paycheck, but life was just getting more expensive, especially with 4 kids. It wasn't shopping sprees or fancy vacations we couldn't afford. It was just groceries or keeping the kids in shoes that fit. I'd end up putting things back on the shelf all the time, and still part of the Costco bill would end up on a credit card. And that's when I realized that I couldn't just keep waiting for something to magically get better. I needed to do something about it. That's when I had to find another way. Have you ever left Costco wondering how in the world groceries got so expensive? Yeah, me too. We're going to be friends.
I just want to say fucking wild that as a 2-income household, my husband and I have come to the realization we can't afford groceries right now. Like, just straight up can't afford groceries, because if we buy groceries, then we either won't be able to pay our rent or our electric bill, because both of those come out of this pay cycle and they will take the entire pay cycle. And that's fucking bonkers. That's fucking wild. We have 2 incomes and we cannot afford to eat, and we don't even have kids. Like, it's literally just the 2 of us, and we can't afford to eat with 2 incomes. That is just, but I mean, I guess, that means we won't have to wash dishes because our dishwasher is still broken, as it has been for 2 months at the place that we pay so much in rent, wild.
I don't know about anybody else, but it bothers me that our elderly can't afford basic things. So I was just in Walmart, and there is this, I was in the self-checkout line. It was long, and this guy was like, oh yeah, like one of the workers, he's like, oh yeah, come over here, and we're opening up this lane. So I go over there, and then there's this older gentleman behind me, and the Walmart employee is like trying to help him and put his things on there and stuff. He's older, and he's like, oh, I'm not sure if I have enough money to pay for this. And the guy's like, oh, well, we'll see. And then I got rushed out of there so fast because I think they're just trying to get people in and out. Because like I said, it's like a freaking crazy jungle in there right now. But it really got me thinking. It's like, in this thing, the thing is, I didn't like see everything, but this was just like food. Our elderly should not, after they worked how many years, they should not be sitting here not able to afford food. And it bothers me. It really does, because it's not okay. And it's just, you really don't know what someone's going through. And the thing is I wish I had the means, because if I did, I was actually going to offer to help pay for that, but I don't. I barely just had enough money to get the things that I needed to get at the store. But it's like, I'm like in my 30s, so I'm sitting here, I can work and stuff. That old man can't work. And he can't afford food. It's not okay. It's not. Some of us, including myself, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm innocent. I'm like this too. But we all worry about the stupidest shit when most of us, at least we have food in our mouths and can afford some type of food, even if it's not a lot, because of how crazy prices are. It's just, it bothers me. And has anyone else seen this lately? Because that just really bothered me.
Groceries are so expensive right now, you don't need a pantry. You need a time machine back to the Great Depression. Listen, at this point, if you don't have what I call a Depression-era pantry, you are setting yourself up for failure. And I know some of y'all are like, what's that? I wasn't even alive back then. Don't worry, I got you. A Depression-era pantry is about survival with style. It's budget-friendly, non-perishable items that will ensure you never go hungry. Flour, cornmeal, rice, dried beans, oats, pasta, molasses, cocoa, peanut butter, canned fruits and vegetables, canned meat, lard, vinegar, salt, sugar, and spices. This is all the stuff your grandmama could take and make 20 meals out of it and continue to feed the family over and over again. See, most Americans, y'all got really addicted to living high on the hog, like little mini Rockefellers, right? Eating fresh salmon on a Wednesday night, sipping cold brew like water. Let's keep it all the way a buck. See, you were never rich. You just had enough credit cards and cheap prices so you could pretend. And now that runway is gone. So here's the irony for me. The same folks, right, that used to laugh at grandma's struggle meals are about to be Googling how to make biscuits from bacon grease and molasses. And honestly, it's not even shameful. For real, it's smart. Because the truth is, prices are not done climbing yet. We have not hit the peak. So either you build yourself a depression-era pantry right now, or you're going to be out here paying $15 for a bag of rice like it's a luxury handbag. Because at the end of the day, y'all, survival is not about flexing. It's about preparing. And the most American thing you can do right now, learn how to make it work no matter what. That was just like they did back then.
Catherine Ebbs thing really has me in a tizzy here. I'm pressed about it. And the main reason I'm pressed about it is being from a small town that is not a small town grocery store. Okay. To get to a grocery store like that for me would take about an hour drive. If I wanted to go do a Sam's Club pickup order, I'm either driving to Fargo 2 hours away or Sioux Falls 3 hours away. Second thing, and most importantly, do you know how many people would kill for the experience to go in their luxury car with their designer purse and go fill up a grocery cart all the way to the brim to completely check off their grocery list? Even if it's not, the specific brand that you wanted, and if you couldn't pick between, a certain type of hot dog. There are people who are probably choosing between their medication and other bills that they need to pay so that they can feed their kids right now. So for you to go in there, laugh about the whole experience, make fun of the small town grocery store, and then maybe say that you should just do takeout instead. I just need to remind you all that the platforms that you giveth to people, you can taketh away. Thank you. Have a good
Man, I don't care what nobody say. One of the most humbling experiences you can go through is not having no money for food, man. I'm pretty sure we've all been there before. I don't know if you have, but you don't want to ever get in that position where you ain't got no income, you ain't got nobody to call on, and you ain't got no money for food. Man, you'll do anything. You'll do anything to eat, man. And I don't wish that on nobody. So, like, the way I was raised, man, my grandmama always told me, man, if you see somebody hungry, you see somebody need something to eat, man, feed them, man. It ain't nothing but food. I don't care if it's your last $20 or $10, man. Whatever you was finna get, chop it in half. Because you never know who needs some help, man. Like, I can't sit around and eat in nobody's face. A lot of y'all are crazy. I can sit around and eat a whole meal in somebody's face. If you weren't raised like that, and I can't really speak on that too much, but man, if you got some type of good in you, man, don't let nobody starve. Some of y'all will have 100 pieces of chicken on your table, and you will see somebody ain't got no food on their plate, and you will still sit there and eat and glutton it out. And tell yourself, man, they need to figure it out on their own. No, help somebody out, man. We here to help people out. We here to serve each other. We not here just by ourselves.
Quick question to any Americans, between the ages of 35 to 45, especially if you have kids, but even if you don't, how are we affording things? How are you affording anything? And houses and cars, that's not really what I'm talking, but yeah, that. I mean more like, how are you affording gas and groceries and healthcare and utilities and all the other 900 subscriptions that are required to live these days? How are you doing that? I'm assuming you all also are not you're not taking any vacations, and you've like us have just cut out the coffee and the Target shopping and the activities for the kids as much as you can. You've taken away. You've gotten rid of pretty much anything fun. Like, you're not having any more fun. Assuming you're also doing that, how are you living? If you have any tips or tricks, just go ahead and drop them in the comments.
I went to the grocery store about 2 weeks ago. I always take my grandma grocery shopping. Along with her going grocery shopping, me and my son go grocery shopping right along with her. It makes more sense. It's like a little date that me, my grandma, and my son have when we go out. Get a chance to bust it up and talk. Well, reason why I want to talk about this is because people talk about the groceries, how groceries have not went down. And I see what they talking about, because I'm gonna keep it real with you. It's just me and my son, and I'm gonna be real with you. When I go grocery shopping, I'm at least spending at least three something. And that's just for the month. I spend for a month. And when I look at that, I say to myself, I don't know how people out here surviving off of at least 2 to 3, some even 4 or 5 kids. I'm trying to figure out how people managing it, because when I look at how much money I spend on just other necessities, like just oil changes, mortgage, rent, just gas, all these things make me sit back and realize that hey man, this money is not doing what I thought it's supposed to do. It seems like when we get that paycheck, that money is already gone. We already getting money taken, hundreds of dollars, hundreds, just off of taxes before we even touch our money. So not only we touch our money and you find out that you're not going to be able to get as much money as you work for. It's sad.
I went to the store today. This is $77. Cream, cold cut. Very good price on sale, so happy about this one. Upside down, $12 something. Cheese, Ziploc freezer bag. Turkey, thigh, decent price, $8. Coffee, cheese, and a watermelon, $77. Make it make sense.
Literally what you're complaining about, grocery stores and having to sift through the miscellaneous items and all that. I'm getting anxiety because I literally can't afford these prices in this small town grocery store. And this is all I can afford. Literally microwave dinner and 8 pieces of garlic bread.
So then I thought maybe a salad to go with our lasagna. And no, it's too expensive, but thankfully they had some bags reduced. With these reduced bags, I could just pick out, whatever's not good in the bags and could just have these for a salad. So, and you're just complaining about having to sift through the bad ones at the store. Have a blessed day.
And then you see things like that really start to make me angry, Brian. And when it comes to things like personalized pricing, what is that, you ask? That means Brian might be willing to pay $4 for a container of strawberries, but they know I might be willing to pay 5. And so they'll adjust pricing to match perhaps what a person is willing to pay. And there's a real insidiousness to that I think has spilt over into the larger psyche as it regards the food systems. And it's a very sobering reality when you realize, one, how much we're interdependent on each other to survive, but also how fragile all of this is. And why do you feel so passionately? Why is this the thing that you really wanted to focus your own, journalistic endeavors on?
Yeah, I mean, so with Stumptown Savings, my whole goal is to help people better understand their local food system. We have a ton of people covering restaurants in Portland. We have nobody covering grocery stores. And the majority of the food that we eat is the food we eat at home. I started this when I got laid off. So I was working at a journalism startup. They laid me off right at the height of when eggs were reaching historic highs. I was faced with the reality that my income just went from 6 figures to nothing. And I needed to figure out how to eat in Portland, Oregon, which is not a cheap city to live in, where cost of living has gone up way faster than the rest of the nations. We're seeing record numbers of homelessness, and we're seeing record need at food pantries and other sorts of mutual aid that to aim to solve some of that stuff. And so it's personal for me because I was dealing with that instability myself, but it's also just like food is important to us. We all have to eat, no matter if you're the richest person on the planet or the poorest person on the planet. We all share one thing in common, which is that we have to eat. And even those super rich people and those super poor people still have to buy their food usually. And so it's, for me, it's like a great way to sort of unify us, to bring us all to the table over a common thing, and to just help demystify sort of what's going on.
Okay, so there you have it. So, it's really getting serious out here, and it's really getting dire, because a lot of people are in dire need of funds to purchase groceries, and a lot of people really depend on various different resources to get groceries. If you really think about it, like a lot of elderly people are being affected. It's already bad enough that people are living on the streets, but what about those people that are underemployed, or to the point where what they actually make in their work week is not enough for them to eat? And that's very disheartening. Leave a comment down below if you are experiencing this, right? What are you doing? I know even around near my way, the food pantry has been on bang. When I tell you it's been on bang, I'm talking about lines right around the corner, and people are definitely in need. All these various different resources, especially with a lot of the kids being out for the summer. You got to think about that when you were a kid, and you had that summer off, and you got to think about, like, my dad used to give my grandma extra, because me and my brother was over her house during the summer, because obviously we was out for the summer, and we was going to eat. But things have changed, drastically. What's your thoughts? Let's get the conversation started in the comments down below, and I hope to see you on the next one.